All right. I believe we are live. I want to make sure that this is showing inside of my Facebook group. And let's see, 1 second. Let's go. I'm so excited. If I can just get to my page real quick and we'll go ahead and get started. As you're jumping on, go ahead and say hi, introduce yourself, give a shout out or where you are tuning in from live tonight. I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to share this information with you, to have this conversation around our habits and how it impacts our, our success. So let me just make sure I can hear. Hey sis, my sister is on here. I'm gonna like to roll out the red carpet for her because she hardly ever gets on these lives, and to actually show up and stuff. I'm excited. Thank you. I had a little mini photo shoot earlier today, so I'm still looking cute and still feeling myself. So let me share this really quick again in the group to make sure everyone sees this, and I'm going to go ahead and get started because I value your time and appreciate you guys for showing up and stuff, because you can be so many other places tonight, so many other lives, groups, watching TV or whatever it is that you do with your time. But the fact that you got on here tonight says a lot, so I appreciate that. Hey, Yvonne, good to see you and stuff. So I'm going to give it a few seconds and I'm going to go ahead and get started because I appreciate when people, show up. I value your time, as I said. And for those of you who are my replay viewers or maybe watching this over on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Let me know where you're tuning in from, all that good old stuff. And if you have any questions at any time, post them in the comments because, I value your feedback. And if you have questions, I want to be able to provide an answer and stuff. And like I said, this is a conversation. So I'm excited. I wanted to talk about, our habits and how they impact our success and all those different things. So I have 9 tips that I want to go ahead and share with you guys tonight. And a lot of them, for the most part, I have, implemented them on some level in my life, right? And so I do have so that I stay on task because I will go all sideways with the conversation. I'm gonna share my screen and stuff. Yes, it is great to see you, Vaughn, and stuff. So I want to share with you 9 success habits, and at the end, I got some action tips because I believe in implementation. That's what helps you actually begin to, walk in that success and be able to create success, right? It's one thing to show up on a live and get this information and you're an information overload, but if you don't do anything with it, then it's pointless, right? You wasted your time, my time, all that kind of stuff. So I hope tonight that you leave here with something that you can implement in your life, or something that maybe you're already doing and maybe you just need to be consistent with it, right? So I want to be able to share that with you. So I'm gonna jump right on in and stuff. Like I said, value your time, and I want to go ahead and get started. So let me this is kind of like my little disclaimer. I don't even know if you can see the slides. Let me know if you can see the slides because I feel like my face is taking up the whole screen, at least on my end and stuff. But, what I can say is we know that you see successful people around us all the time. And if there's one thing that you can say is you can examine them. We might not know exactly what it is that they did to create that success. But when you start to look at different people and their success stories, you get to begin to see the different similarities in, their behavior and their habits, right? So I want to show you 9 habits that show up consistently over and over again when you hear about other people's success stories. So if you want to be more successful in your life, whether that's, your career, your business, yeah, that's what I figured, Yvonne, because I'm like, on my end, it looks small. Let me know what it looks like on yours. So, so if you want to be more successful in life, these behaviors might be an excellent place for you to start. Right. And I know a lot of times I speak about business, for the most part of the time, or entrepreneurship, but these can be applied in any area of your life, on your job, your personal life, all those different things. Okay, so the first one is, we all know this, they set goals. Successful people set goals. And if you want more of that, more success, then you have to actively set goals in order to get what it is that you want. Okay, so having the goals in mind don't count. You need to write your goals down. Okay, and then you need to break them down into an action plan. And I'm really big when it comes to this part, as far as like writing your goals down, because especially as, you know, women entrepreneurs, we have so many, you know, ideas in our head all day, where we are, you know, listening to this information. We have all this creative stuff that we want to do and things of that sort. But it's important that you write it down, because if you don't write it down, at that point, it's just a wish, and you're probably more than likely are not going to act on it. They say successful people are more successful because they write it down. And not only that, they take that goal and they break it down. Okay, so for those of you who are in my accountability group, you know, like on the beginning of the month, on the first of the month, I run a goal setting workshop, and we do exactly that. We take that goal that you want to accomplish for the month or for the next 90 days, we write it down on paper, and we break down the action steps to make it happen, right? So you have to have an action plan. And the key word there is action. You have to be taking action towards your goals daily, okay? Or, you know, on a consistent basis. And sometimes that's where we fall short at, you know, and, you know, I'm speaking to the choir myself here when it comes to being consistent. At one point, I was a beast. I was showing up and I was consistently, you know, achieving success. So if you want to know what your bank account looks like, it looks like what your actions and what your beliefs and stuff, you know, look like as well. So if you're not having success in your business, look at that. There's a correlation between the two. Okay. So successful people, they set goals and they write them down. Okay. So if you're working on a goal right now, I would love to know what, you know, the goal is you're working on for this month or for the next 90 days. So definitely share that in the comments. And if you need help with breaking that goal down, you want to make sure, you know, you connect, post in my group, send me a DM or whatever it is that you got to do. Let's create an action plan. Okay. So, because that's definitely, that part is kind of like my zone of genius, helping you to be able to map out what it is that you want to do. Once you have that clarity, like I'm not the type that, don't come to me if you're trying to figure out, you know, what you want to be and things of that sort. But if you know what it is that you want to achieve and you need an action plan to help you get there, I'm your girl. Okay. So I like to work with people who know what it is that they want. Maybe just need some clarification or a strategy to get there. Number 2 is that, because I had to take it off so I could talk to y'all. So I'm gonna go back and forth between the slides and talking to you guys, right? So number 2 is you want to be able, you have to stay healthy. So a lot of times, especially as entrepreneurs, we don't talk about this enough. We don't talk about the health side of, you know, your business. Staying healthy is the key on the road of success, right? Like you got to have a proper diet, exercise on a regular basis. I'm definitely starting to figure that out as I, you know, hit my 40s and your metabolism slow down and all these different things and stuff. The importance of, you know, being healthy and getting enough sleep. So team no sleep and hustle and grind, that stuff is not for the birds. So if you have systems and strategies and stuff in place, you can flow within your business, flow within your life. You don't have to, you know, miss out on sleep because you're trying to hit these goals. And if that is something that you do, that shouldn't be something that you do on a consistent basis. Okay. So having health is important. Getting your hours of sleep is important. And for those of you who personally know me, you know I like to nap. I am the nap queen. So whenever I can get a nap in, I am going to do it and stuff. So when you're healthy, it allows you to focus right on the pursuit of your success and not worry about getting sick or being tired or even being burnt out, because I've been there to an aspect of being burnt out in my business and stuff because I was trying to be everywhere, be visible and all these different things. Yes, I was having some success, but it eventually led to burnout. So that part is definitely important, is making sure that, you know, you stay healthy. Successful people know that their health comes first, right? Because you can't enjoy the money and all these other things if you are on your last leg or you're not feeling good. So we know the importance of, you know, taking care of our health. Okay, so that's number 2. So number one, like I said, is write them goals down on paper, get them out of your head on paper, and create an action plan. Stay healthy. Yes. Okay. Number three is they face their fears, right? Fear is one of the most biggest roadblocks to success. When it comes to going after what you want, fear is going to come up, okay? So just think about things you might have missed out on because you were too nervous to take a chance. Does any of that, ring a bell? Sorry, I was reading Shanae's comments and stuff. Yes, act like you said. Yep, as women, our minds are always wandering, especially when we're motivated to get something done. That is so true. Yes. So face your fears. You have to face your fears. And that's one of the biggest roadblocks to success, as I said. And I'm always like the worst thing that can, what's the worst thing that can happen and stuff? And you don't want to have no regret. So I'm always like, go out there, and do it. I used to be afraid to speak in front of people. I have no problem with that. I was always the real quiet one, stick to myself and things of that sort. But I realized the importance of showing up, not just for myself, but for others, to be able to help other people to, go after their goals and their dreams. Like I realized my place and who it is that I'm called to serve. So in order to be successful, you're going to have to face that fear. And there's a book by Mel Gibbons, and it's called the 5-second rule. Not, the 5 seconds where you drop your food on the floor, you got 5 seconds to you pick it up. Not that. But the 5-second rule says, as soon as an idea comes into your head, you need to launch yourself to be able to take action on that. So you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you just go and you do it. Okay. So when it comes to making decisions or taking that next step, you do it within those first 5 seconds, because if not, what happens is you talk yourself out of it. You talk yourself out of taking action and stuff. So successful people face their fear. Okay. So that was number 3. Are y'all getting value from this? I hope y'all getting value from this. So I'm number 4. Like I said, I got 9, and then I got some quick action steps that you can take, right? So number 4 is successful people are always learning. This is so important, right? So it's kind of a shame that, school ends at, when we turn 18, unless you go, continue to go on to college. And, not necessarily that college is needed or so, but some people, when they finish high school, they feel like they're done learning. That was probably the last time they pick up a book and, read something, especially now with social media. We're always on our phone, Instagram and things of that sort. And people aren't reading blogs like they used to do, or magazine articles or books and stuff. Of course, we have a lot of audios and things of that sort. But successful people are always learning. They make a commitment, and it's a lifelong commitment to continue to learn about what it is that, you're interested in. Kind of like, keeping your mind sharp, your skills up to date. So you have to be willing to invest in your, your learning, continuously learning and stuff, whether that's going to workshops, picking up a book, taking a course, going back to school, whatever that looks like, right? Successful people are always learning. So if there's something you want to be successful in a certain area, if it's business, then hey, pick up a book, or find a video or something on that topic and learn about it. If it's about changing your health, your lifestyle, something you want to learn, there's tons of information out there. Okay, and then for those of you who are entrepreneurs, it's important that hey, you continue to learn. You continue to focus on your skills and what it is that you do. All right. So did I skip one? Yes. Number 5, they stay organized. So it's important. You don't realize how important this is, how it plays a vital part of your success. Being organized is a habit. So there may be a handful of geniuses who can think in a very cluttered space. I've met some where you're like, oh my gosh, how are you functioning like this? But the rest of us normies, so to speak, a cluttered space is a distraction. Like my office my desk has to be cleared and stuff like that. So it'll save you time and energy, and it helps boost your focus when you work in an environment that is organized and not cluttered. So that's also that's a habit. Staying organized is a habit. So if you need to hire assistants, delegate things out within your business and things of that sort, then you do that. That's actually just going to benefit you. So make sure that you're staying organized. So that's, tip number 5, right? And for those of you who are watching along, or, let me know which one of these tips you're going to implement in your life or continue to do more of, or do it consistently. Okay. So number 6 is successful people. One of the habits they have is keeping balance. So what's the point of having success if you don't take the time out to enjoy it? Okay. So I've met people who work hard and they grind all day. And I'm not going to say, you don't, there's a way that, when I say work hard, I don't mean where you're working like crazy mad hours and things of that sort, but you're putting in the work, the necessary work and action it takes to get done. But you got to remember to enjoy the good times along the way. So having a life balance will keep energy levels high and give you something to look forward to besides work. So that was definitely one of the things that, I was taking for granted, and it was my mentor that, pointed it out. So as, I had this big lump sum of money that came in. I mean, because I had made money before, it didn't feel like nothing worth celebrating, things of that sort. But he was like, you know what, go take a vacation. Go enjoy these last 3 months or so you have put in the work. You have deserved this. Yes, take some, invest back in your business, save, or whatever it is that you need to do, but go enjoy your life. Don't work just to pay off, because at that time, my goal was let's focus on this. And I was putting all my money towards paying down my debt. I was tired of looking at credit card debt, things of that sort. I wanted it gone. But, so I'm grateful for that tip of being able to keep balance, where you go out and enjoy life, the simple things and stuff that sometimes we take for granted because we're so busy focused on our business and other different things. So you got to have a healthy balance in between there, and especially if you have a family. Okay, so that's definitely very important. And number 7 is they take time to think. Yes, some people work 7 days a week nonstop, complete burnout happens, and there's no way to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So I was definitely one of those ones, working outside at home and then working my business and experience that burnout. And for me, I've realized for me, it was a mechanism. I didn't want to deal with my relationship. So I'd rather bury myself in my business, or either, I was okay with working the long hours. Now I'm over, working the long hours and things of that sort. I'm enjoying the moments and stuff. So it's so definitely important to find that balance and, look at that and be able to set boundaries, especially at work. And, if you do know somebody who's working 7 days, a week, or part of the team, no sleep, hustle and grind, making sure that you find balance and get back to really what's important and stuff. So set yourself up for success where you're not having to, run hours on hours like that. Okay. So number 7 is take the time to think, right? That is so important. I think, for me, just taking that time, successful people do. They know that you're continuously thinking about what's next if you want to be, successful. As you're growing, like as you hit a goal, there's always another goal. As you're evolving, you're always wanting to strive more. And I believe kind of like as long as you're living, you're always going to have some goal that you're working towards. If not, then you're not living. And it doesn't have to be some really elaborate goal, but whatever it is, you're working towards something. And for me, reflecting has been very important. Taking a journal and just writing down my thoughts, getting that out of my head onto paper, or even just having like simple journal prompts or, thoughts, and just thinking on that. Because sometimes, at the end of the day, if I've had a long day where my brain's been going and stuff all day and overwhelmed, I'm like, okay, I don't have nothing to write about. Maybe I need some ideas. So journal prompting actually helps. And just like I said, just taking time to just reflect and looking back, reflecting over your day and over your week, it is so important. It helps you to think about those things that you're grateful for, the things that you maybe taken for granted and stuff and things of that sort, and really just focus on what's next. Like, what does your next level look like for you? Okay. So number 8 is you got to surround yourself with inspiring people. So I am so grateful for that. Like if you want to be successful, it helps to have successful friends because these doors may open. There be the doors that open for you. You learn what makes, other people tick, and you get to hang around people who are inspiring. Yes, get it out of your mind and onto paper. It is so important. And it's so important to have a like-minded circle because that helped me, definitely on my journey to success. Okay, so especially if you don't grow up or have role models of other people who are making it happen. And for me, especially as an African American woman, that it was I needed to see that because I wasn't seeing myself. So now, I think in today's society we see more people who look like us that are successful, but just being able to get around other people who are making it happen is so inspiring and reminds you that you can do it as well. And you're able to connect, share different ideas. Some people are really, great with, some people don't mind sharing ideas. There's some people, of course, hey, sometimes you gotta pay, you gotta invest, you gotta pay to play and stuff. And I'm one of those ones, I don't mind paying, taking risks, all those different things, because it's opened up so many doors of opportunity for me. And just being in the room with other successful people, right? The way they think, that success begins to rub off on you. So I think it's very important that you surround yourself around like-minded people, because when your friends are doing great and they're leveling up, it's going to inspire you to want to do great and level up. Versus if you're hanging around with other people who are complacent, you're going to find yourself in the same listening. So, there's always this quote that says, show me your 5 friends and I'll tell you who you are. That is so true. If the people that you hang around with are, let me just say it, about nothing, then you're probably about nothing too. So it's important who you hang around with, who you, allow into your environment and allow into your space. So you want to make sure you're around like-minded people. And if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to get in another room. Okay. So I always think you should be learning from others. All right, number 9, and then I'm gonna have some action steps for you. Number 9 is that they plan their day. So if you ever find yourself wondering like what to do next, where to start, successful people don't. They take the time to plan their day. So like in my mastermind group, we talk about, setting your goals, for those 90 days. But before you retire at night, like I have my planner and stuff, I write down the top 3 things that I want to make sure I get done the next day. So you have to plan your day because you know that your time is invested and you don't want to go throughout your whole day and you're like, oh, I was supposed to do X, Y, Z. And here it comes 9, 10 o'clock at night when it's time for you to, power down and things of that sort. And you realize you didn't do it. So planning your day is very important. So taking, half an hour to plan your day. In my group, I talk about, taking Sunday. Sunday is the day where we write out our goals and we come and we share them on Monday if you want that additional accountability and stuff, right? And then write down the action step that you're going to take. So that's so important. And what that's going to do, it's going to help build up that consistency in that habit. And what I like also, you're able to go back and look at and see what you've done for the month, because a lot of times we take for granted what it is that we have done and what we have accomplished. Like we don't celebrate our small wins enough. So that's important. So you're able to look back, especially if you didn't hit your goal, but making sure that you celebrate those milestones in between there. So maybe you didn't hit whatever your typical goal was, but you made some progress towards it. Celebrate those milestones. Okay. And especially as women, I don't think we celebrate ourselves enough. So we're okay with celebrating others, but not ourselves. So celebrate yourself. And maybe that may be with something even just small, something you've been wanting to do. So like maybe you've been wanting to go do a massage. I know things are shut down right now, or, take the kids for ice cream, whatever it is, it's like, hey, if I accomplish this, then I'm gonna reward myself. So that's, an extra bonus tip, rewarding yourself. I'm glad you are getting value out of these tips, sis, and that you were able to join us tonight. So this is what I want you to do. So that you can see this, I want you to set a goal, and it doesn't have to be a huge goal, but whatever it is that you decide that you want to do, I want you to break that down into a smaller goal. And this smaller goal now becomes your action plan, right? Because like I said, I'm all about results, taking action, and making it happen, okay? So that's number one. And I would love if you come back and share this in the group, right? What your goal is, what action plan that you're going to take to make it happen. And especially if you want that additional accountability, I'm your girl, I'm there. I'm going to follow up on you. I believe in positive peer pressure is what I call it. Accountability is positive peer pressure. Somebody checking up on you and saying, hey, how's your progress? How are you coming along with your goals? And someone who will call you on your ish, if you make excuses for it. And then, what do you learn? Whatever it is, now is the time to start. So choose a topic of interest. Like maybe there's something that you've been wanting to learn more about. What books or courses can you learn about? There are a lot of free courses online. Even, the libraries, you can go there to get stuff. There's websites like Udemy. I always YouTube, also YouTube University, Google University, wherever you want to go. Find something that you are interested in learning about and learn about it, okay? And then number 3, start thinking. Choose a time, ideally the same time each day, to do some quiet thinking each day. So you don't have to plan what to think about. Just think about whatever comes to mind and think about ways to improve your career, your business, or your life in general. So it's important that you take time out to reflect and think about, the goodness. Think about what your next level looks like. Think about what it is that you want. And I think in my group, I think I'm going to start sharing journal prompts, because that's what's, helped for me as well. And then I'm going to maybe sometime this week, next week, I'm going to do a video about having a daily success routine. So I'm in the process of working or revamping my my routine so that it works for me. So I was trying to get up at 6, 8 a.m., do all my exercise and all that kind of stuff within, the first hour of the day, do my prayer, meditate, my daily devotion and things of that sort. And for the most part, it's been going good. But what I found like this last 2 weeks, because I'm getting ready to host a boot camp, I found myself up later than usual. So then I'm struggling in the morning to get up. So yes, change your surroundings. When you're trying to, be quiet and you're trying to think, you might have to change your surroundings and create an environment that allows you to do that. So for me, I like to light my candles and stuff, things of that sort, a specific place in the house, that you may be drawn to and stuff. And sometimes you may have to get up before the rest of the family gets up. Okay, so, and then especially if you will find yourself wandering, if you got this to-do list in your head, you're thinking about the laundry, dishes, and everything else that you got to do today for the kids and for the husband and things of that sort, it's easy to wander and think about those things because they're in your head instead of on paper. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So I want to share with y'all, I got 2 more things, and then I promise y'all I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna let y'all go. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me tonight. This has been good. So additional readings for those of you who are interested in changing your success habits. This is one of my favorite books, The Success Principle, and I've had this book for forever. And if you have teens, they also have it for teens, The Success Principle for Teens. And what it does is it gives you, it's different success habits, that you can implement to be able to change your life. And this is really what the first book I think I got that started me on my journey, kind of like to personal development. And it talks about, being clear, taking responsibility for your life, feeling the fear and, going with it, how to deal with rejection, how to use feedback as your advantage and all these different things, right? So it gives you different success tips that you can take, begin to implement in your life. How to build a successful team, how it talks about success money, all those different things. So I definitely recommend The Success Principle by Jack Canfield. How to Get from Where You Are to Where You Want to Be is one of my favorite books. And also this one by Wayne Cordeiro. I think that's how you pronounce his name. It's Attitudes That Attract Success. So this is another good book that I would recommend, and it's backed up kind of like with scripture, and also endorsed by, who is that? John Maxwell. I like John Maxwell too. He's one of the great mentors as well. So those are some additional readings if you are interested in, learning more maybe on this, on the topic, since we're talking about learning how to build successful habits, okay? And how your habits correlate to your success. So maybe that might be the topic that you want to invest and learn more on. All right, so as we wrap up for the night, I appreciate y'all for joining me. I do want to invite you guys, if you haven't officially signed up in the group, to the 5-day goal setting boot camp that I am kicking off on October 19th. So this is for you, whether you have a personal or a business goal. And I know it doesn't show really clear, so I'm just going to talk about it really quick. So this goal starts on the 19th and through the 23rd. It's a 5-day boot camp that I'll be running live in my Facebook group, or you can always catch the replay, right? And in this boot camp, what we focus on is we focus on getting results. We focus on taking your goals, getting them out of your head on paper, and creating an action plan on something that you can actually begin to take consistent action on within those 5 days while we're working together. Okay, so I don't believe in fluff at all. So it's not one of these what's names where you're gonna come to when we're talking about theory and all those different things. This is a boot camp. Like, you got to do the work. It's all about showing up. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to put a plan in place that's realistic to you being able to achieve your goals. Okay, so if you're tired of creating goals and goals that you don't stick to, that you don't make happen, then this boot camp is definitely for you. I'm gonna post the links in the comments. So for those of you who do want to join this boot camp, officially sign up for it. If you're in my Facebook group, of course, you'll see it live in there, but there's a link to register because, of course, I will be sending out a worksheet to accompany this boot camp. Okay, so we're talking about, really creating a foundation to be able to achieve your goals and how to choose the right goals, right? This is not about coming and creating another to-do list. The last thing you need is a to-do list. I want you to be able to walk away with some real results and a plan to make it happen. And we're going to talk about, self-sabotage, the ways that we self-sabotage our success. Because a lot of times when we don't hit our goals, it has nothing to do with the outside or other people. It's the way that we sabotage and how we show up in the world. So we're going to talk about that. Like, especially if you keep starting and stopping and, starting over, never finishing what it is that you start, this boot camp is for you. So I believe in living your best life. And if you want results, then you definitely want to sign up for the 5-day boot camp challenge. And if you have any questions, post them in the comments. I'll answer them. If you got value from this, like I said, invite somebody else to the group to get this information, right? Because membership has its privileges. I'm no longer doing these over on my personal page. If you want this information, join us inside the group or either follow me over on YouTube. Yes, I'm so glad, sis. I'm excited that you showed up. I appreciate that. So I'm gonna make sure, of course, I'm gonna show up and give 100% as well, and do what it is that I do so that you be able to achieve your goals. So I'm excited. Love you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off so I can go spend the next hour or so with my babies before it gets too late, and we can go ahead and do this dinner, figure out what we're gonna eat tonight. So that is it. Thank you guys. If you guys have any questions, post them in the comments. If you are just not jumping on, catch the replay. I share 9 valuable success tips to be able to help you to achieve success, right? Maybe take your success to the next level. And make sure you check out the group for our upcoming boot camp that is kicking off on the 19th through the 23rd. You don't want to miss it. So that's it. I will see you guys inside of the group. Love you guys.